This video is about the evolution of house building, water supply, sewerage, nails. The history of architecture traces the changes in architecture through various traditions, regions, overarching stylistic trends, and dates. The history of water supply spans thousands of years, evolving from primitive irrigation and river-based systems to complex urban infrastructures with extensive treatment technologies. Sewerage is a system for the removal of wastewater and sewage that has played a key role in the development of cities and the provision of sanitary conditions for residents. Nails, one of the most essential tools in human technology. This educational video offers a concise yet detailed exploration of the technological advancements that continue to shape our daily lives. The history of architecture traces the changes in architecture through various traditions, regions, overarching stylistic trends, and dates. The beginnings of all these traditions is thought to be humans satisfying the very basic need of shelter and protection. The term architecture generally refers to buildings, but its essence is much broader, including fields we now consider specialized forms of practice, such as urbanism, civil engineering, naval, military, and landscape architecture. Prehistoric shelters, circa 23,000 BCE. Early human shelters were temporary structures made from natural materials like wood, bones, and animal hides. These primitive huts and shelters evolved over time as humans began to settle and form communities. Ancient construction, circa 4000 BCE. With the advent of agriculture, early permanent buildings appeared, primarily for shelter, storage, and religious purposes. Mesopotamian ziggurats and Egyptian pyramids are prime examples of large-scale, enduring architecture from this era. Construction techniques began to incorporate mud bricks, stone, and other locally available materials. Classical architecture, circa 1200 BCE to 400 CE. Ancient Greece and Rome introduced monumental architecture with an emphasis on symmetry, columns, and ornate detail. Homes in these civilizations had structured layouts, with separate areas for various domestic activities, including courtyards and gardens. Roman innovations like concrete and the arch allowed for more complex buildings, including aqueducts, amphitheaters, and large homes. Medieval architecture, 5th to 15th century. Post-Roman Europe saw the rise of feudalism, with architecture reflecting the structure. Castles, fortifications, and simple wooden homes predominated. Monasteries and churches used Gothic architecture with pointed arches, flying buttresses, and large stained-glass windows. In Islamic regions, ornate palaces, mosques, and residential buildings incorporated water features, courtyards, and intricate tilework. Hindu ancient architecture, Hindu temple architecture advanced between 200 CE and 800 CE, with South Indian Dravidian and North Indian Nagara styles emerging, marked by intricate carvings, towered sanctums, and dedicated temple complexes. In East Asia, meanwhile, Chinese and Japanese architecture developed through timber construction, pagodas, and imperial palaces reflecting Buddhist influence. Hindu medieval architecture during the medieval period, Islamic influence from the Delhi Sultanate in India introduced Indo-Islamic architecture, blending Islamic arches, domes, and minarets with indigenous Indian styles. This era saw the rise of monuments like the Qutb Minar, which symbolized a new fusion of design elements, evolving Indian architecture into a distinct blend of local and imported styles. Medieval Eastern architecture. Medieval Middle Eastern architecture, particularly during the Islamic Golden Age, combined functional design with intricate artistry. Mosques and palaces featured domes, arches, and minarets, influenced by Byzantine and Persian elements. Iconic architectural innovations included the horseshoe arch, macarnas, ornamental vaulting, and geometric patterns. Structures like the Great Mosque of Córdoba and Alhambra showcased decorative calligraphy, mosaics, and elaborate gardens, reflecting a synthesis of spiritual symbolism and engineering sophistication. This era's architecture spread widely, influencing regions across North Africa, Persia, and Central Asia. Renaissance and early modern architecture, 15th to 18th century. The Renaissance revived classical Greek and Roman styles, adding harmony, proportion, and perspective to designs. Villas and urban homes showcase symmetrical layouts and columned facades. The Baroque and Rococo styles that followed introduced decorative elements, including intricate facades and elaborate interiors, particularly in aristocratic homes. Industrial Revolution, 18th to 19th century. Industrialization introduced new building materials like iron, steel, and glass, allowing for taller and more durable structures. Urbanization led to the mass production of residential buildings. Row houses, tenements, and later apartment buildings became common as cities expanded to accommodate growing populations. Modern architecture, 20th century. The 20th century introduced minimalist design with a focus on function, often described as form follows function. Modern materials like reinforced concrete and advancements in structural engineering led to skyscrapers, housing blocks, and prefabricated homes. Architects like Le Corbusier and Frank Lloyd Wright promoted open floor plans, modular construction, and blending homes with nature. Contemporary and sustainable architecture, 21st century. In the present day, sustainability has become central to architecture. Green building practices emphasize energy efficiency, renewable materials, and reducing carbon footprints. Smart homes, eco-friendly designs, and adaptive reuse of buildings are prominent trends. Modern homes often integrate advanced technology for automation, energy management, and security, reflecting the increasing importance of environmental and technological considerations in construction. Conclusion. Over time, building and home design have transformed from simple shelters to complex, multifunctional spaces that reflect societal advancements, economic shifts, and environmental priorities. The history of water supply spans thousands of years, evolving from primitive irrigation and river-based systems to complex urban infrastructures. With extensive treatment technologies, ancient civilizations, and early innovations, the earliest known water supply systems date back to the 3rd millennium BCE, with the development of basic sewer and irrigation systems in ancient Mesopotamian cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. Ancient Egypt, Babylon, and Persia engineered irrigation channels to support agriculture along rivers, which were essential for sustenance and economic growth. Meanwhile, civilizations in the Mediterranean, including the Minoans, Egyptians, and Greeks, developed aqueducts and cisterns for water storage and distribution. The Indus Valley Civilization, circa 2500 BCE. The Indus Valley Civilization had advanced water supply systems, including wells, irrigation canals, and reservoirs to manage water flow. Mohenjo-daro and Harappa featured public baths, private wells, and terracotta pipes to transport water. Wastewater was directed through underground drains, preventing contamination and ensuring sanitation. This infrastructure demonstrates sophisticated hydraulic engineering and urban planning for sustainable water use. Roman aqueducts and engineering marvels. The Roman Empire, c. 1st century BCE, revolutionized water supply with extensive aqueduct systems, transporting water from distant sources to urban centers. They constructed multi-tiered aqueducts, including the famous Aqua Appia, to provide reliable, clean water to Rome and other cities. Romans also introduced public baths, fountains, and elaborate plumbing systems that used lead pipes, enabling broader access to water across social classes and contributing to public health and sanitation standards. Medieval and early modern periods. Europe. During the Middle Ages, the fall of the Roman Empire led to a decline in sophisticated water systems in Europe, with people relying on wells, rivers, and rainwater collection for their needs. In the medieval period, water systems relied on wells, rivers, and basic conduits, often resulting in unsanitary conditions. Monasteries and castles developed rudimentary piping systems, while some towns built aqueducts or cisterns. The early modern era saw the gradual introduction of more organized water systems, though access remained limited and water quality was often poor. Medieval and early modern periods. Islamic regions. In Islamic regions, significant advancements continued, including qanats, underground channels, to bring groundwater to surface areas, especially in arid climates. These methods supported agriculture and drinking water needs in regions with scarce surface water. Cities like Basra and Damascus developed complex water management systems with aqueducts, reservoirs, and cisterns, which provided water for public fountains, bathhouses, and agriculture. These systems supported urban growth and industrial activities, and were renowned for their sophistication and sustainability. Industrial Revolution and urbanization. The Industrial Revolution in the 18th and 19th centuries brought rapid urbanization, increasing water demand and pollution. Many cities developed piped water systems to support growing populations, with the first modern municipal water treatment plant built in Scotland in 1804. Chlorination and filtration techniques began to be used widely by the early 20th century, dramatically improving water safety. In the United States and Europe, water infrastructure expanded, and public health movements pushed for the establishment of sewer systems, reducing the prevalence of waterborne diseases. Modern era. Technological advancements and sustainability. By the mid-20th century, advanced treatment technologies, including desalination, ultraviolet, UV disinfection, and chemical treatments, became widespread. The construction of dams and reservoirs also allowed for increased water storage and management. Recent decades have emphasized sustainability, with a focus on recycling, greywater systems, and conservation measures to address global water scarcity and pollution concerns. Technological innovations such as smart water systems, which monitor water quality and usage, aim to optimize resource management for a growing global population. Today, water supply systems continue to evolve, integrating technological solutions to enhance access, efficiency, and resilience against climate change, ensuring water remains accessible to billions worldwide. Sewerage is a system for the removal of wastewater and sewage that has played a key role in the development of cities and the provision of sanitary conditions for residents. The history of sewerage goes back thousands of years, and its development is closely linked to the growth of urbanization and the construction of large cities. Early sewerage systems. Ancient Egypt. c. 2600 BC. The first traces of an organized sewer system were found in ancient Egypt. In the city of Memphis, canals were created to drain water, and in the homes of wealthy Egyptians, primitive toilets were built consisting of stone seats with special tanks underneath. Man-made ditches and canals were used to drain wastewater, which led it to the Nile. Indus Valley Civilization. Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. Circa 2500 to 2000 BC. One of the earliest and most well-organized sewerage systems was developed in the Indus Valley Civilization, in the ancient cities of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro in modern-day Pakistan. These cities had complex systems of drainage pipes and canals to carry away wastewater. Each building had its own flush toilet, and waste was carried away through underground pipes and open channels. This was one of the most advanced sewerage systems of its time. Ancient civilizations and the development of sewerage. Ancient Mesopotamia. Babylon and other cities in Mesopotamia had canal systems to carry away wastewater and rainwater. The ancient Mesopotamians built brick pipes that carried water and waste out of the city. These systems helped keep cities clean, prevent flooding, and protect against the spread of disease. Ancient Rome. The Romans were very successful in building sewer systems. Their famous sewer system, called the Cloaca Maxima, was built around 600 BC by King Tarquinius the Ancient. The Cloaca Maxima is one of the oldest sewer systems in the world and is still partially operational in Rome. The system was built to drain the marshy area in the center of Rome and drain wastewater into the Tiber River. In Rome, sewers were important for the disposal of both sanitary and rainwater. Wealthy Roman homes had flush toilets, and public toilets, latrines, were common. Ancient Greece, especially cities like Knossos on Crete, had primitive sewerage systems. In Knossos, the capital of the Minoan civilization, archaeologists have found rainwater and wastewater pipes that were laid underground and carried the waste out of the city. The Middle Ages and the decline of sewer systems. During the Middle Ages, after the fall of the Roman Empire, many of the achievements of Roman engineering were lost. Cities in Europe began to grow, but there were no centralized sewer systems, which led to poor sanitation. Sewage and waste were often poured directly onto the streets or into open ditches, which contributed to the spread of diseases such as the plague and cholera. The rebirth of sewer systems. Paris and London, 19th century. By the 19th century, with the growth of cities and the Industrial Revolution, the need for improved sewer systems became apparent. In London, the Great Stink began in the mid-19th century, when the city suffered from excessive sewage, causing widespread cholera epidemics. This led to the construction of new sewer systems under the direction of engineer Joseph Bazalgette. London's underground sewers became a model for other European cities. In Paris, Baron Georges Haussmann and engineer Eugene Belgrand developed a new sewer system that included underground tunnels for the removal of sewage. This system was part of a major reconstruction of Paris, and it greatly improved sanitary conditions in the city. New York City and the United States. In the United States, as cities developed in the late 19th century, sewer systems similar to European models began to be built. In New York and other major cities, work has begun on creating sewer tunnels and wastewater treatment systems. Modern sewer systems. Today, sewerage plays a vital role in providing sanitary conditions in cities. Modern sewer systems include networks of underground pipes and collectors that collect wastewater and send it to treatment facilities. Cleaning wastewater before discharging it into rivers or seas is a necessary part of environmental protection. Modern technologies also allow the use of wastewater for recycling, turning it into water for irrigation or technical needs. In a number of countries, stormwater management systems have become an important part of flood control. Conclusion. The history of sewer systems is the history of mankind's desire to improve sanitary conditions and ensure public health. Starting with the simplest canals of ancient Egypt and the complex engineering solutions of Rome, sewerage has evolved to modern high-tech systems that play an important role in the life of every city and society. Nails, one of the most essential tools in human technology. From ancient civilizations to the modern era, nails have been crucial in the construction of buildings, ships, and furniture. We'll explore their early development, from hand-forged nails made by blacksmiths to the innovations of the Industrial Revolution, when machine-made nails transformed the construction industry. Nails have played a pivotal role in advancing architecture, enabling stronger and more efficient structures. Join us as we delve into the surprising importance of this small but powerful invention throughout history. In ancient times, various techniques were used such as tenon joints, wooden wedges, wooden pegs, bone fasteners, and stone rivets were used in ancient construction and toolmaking. These methods were common before the invention of metal, when nails made of natural materials such as bone or wood were also used to strengthen structures. These materials secured structures like wooden boats, shelters, and tools, providing early societies with essential building methods. Emergence of metal nails. With the beginning of the processing of metals such as copper and bronze, the first metal nails appeared. Around 3400 BC, in ancient Egypt, copper nails were already in use, which were used in construction and shipbuilding. They were extremely expensive and were used only for special purposes, such as the construction of temples and tombs. The evolution of nails. Since the Middle Ages, nails evolved from handcrafted, labor-intensive items made by blacksmiths to mass-produced, machine-made essentials. The Industrial Revolution brought mechanized nail production, revolutionizing construction, while modern nails are standardized, efficient, and essential in building industries worldwide. Bronze and Iron Ages. Nails began to be made from stronger alloys of copper and tin. Bronze hand-forged by early smiths. They became crucial for stronger construction, enabling advancements in architecture, shipbuilding, and tools, laying the foundation for future metalworking innovations. With the invention and spread of iron in the early Iron Age, around 1200 BCE, nails became stronger, more affordable, and more widely used. During the heyday of the Roman Empire, nail manufacturing technology advanced significantly. The Romans perfected the process of forging iron nails, allowing them to be used in the mass construction of buildings, bridges, and roads. Roman legionnaires even carried nails with them to repair camps and build fortifications. Middle Ages. During the Middle Ages, nails were handcrafted by blacksmiths, making them valuable and labor-intensive. Nails were essential for construction, used in timber-framed houses, castles, and ships. Blacksmiths heated iron rods and hammered them into shape, forming heads for better grip. Salvaging nails from demolished structures was common due to their worth. Though production methods remained traditional, nails played a critical role in medieval construction and craftsmanship. Industrial Revolution. With the advent of the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century, the nail manufacturing process became mechanized. Machines were invented that could mass-produce nails, making them even more affordable. This revolutionized construction, allowing for rapid building projects and widespread use of nails, making them an essential component in modern industrial architecture. Impact on the development of civilizations. Nails have had a huge impact on the development of technology, architecture, and shipbuilding. Their widespread use allowed for the creation of more stable structures and accelerated the pace of construction, which contributed to the growth of cities and the development of civilizations. Today, nails are made from various metals using high-tech methods and remain one of the most sought-after building materials in the world.
Hello everyone. I am very excited to share my new YouTube video with you, and I need your support to continue to bring quality and enriching content. If you enjoyed my content, please help me by like the video, it helps me reach more people and spread the message. Subscribe to the channel using the subscribe button below so you don't miss any new update or video. Press the bell to receive notifications every time I upload new content. And if you would like to support me directly and help me create more content, you are welcome to join me on Patreon. Your support is significant for me and allows me to continue investing in creating quality and enjoyable content for you. Thank you so much for joining and watching. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. See you in the next video.